by the majestic Himalayas.
That's beautiful.
Adorned by the affluence of wide, navigable rivers. Embraced on three sides by the generous seas and an ocean that bears our name. India is proud to have a maritime heritage that spans a time period of over 5,000 years. The world's oldest known tidal dock at Lothal dates back to the Indus Valley civilization. Through our bustling port cities, we reached out to countries both in West and East, trading in spices, silk and precious stones, among many other things. Continuing the seafaring tradition, modern India, through its long coastline and advantage of its strategic location on the east-west international trade route, is reaching out to the world in trade and commerce. Our 20 large ports and around 200 other ports account for 95% of India's EXIM trade by volume and 70% by value. Considering the importance of maritime trade to India's economy, the Government of India has embarked on the ambitious Sagarmala program for port-led development. A dream of our visionary former Prime Minister, Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and now being taken forward by our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi.
Our port-led development program Sagarmala will create business opportunities for the investors and the employment for the youth.
Sagarmala aspires to make India's agriculture and industrial sector more competitive by enhancing the efficiency of our logistics sector. Sagarmala will change the way cargo moves in India.
Good jobs, dude.
It will also integrate India seamlessly to global trade. This will be achieved through minimal infrastructure investment, thereby reducing the cost and time while bridging the infrastructure deficit. To fulfill this vision, Sagarmala has identified a number of projects and initiatives under 4 pillars of port-led development. Based on these pillars, a national perspective plan has been developed. This plan lays out the key focus areas and opportunities to achieve the goal of port-led development. Modernization of existing ports and development of new ports has become one among our most critical national ambitions. Under Sagarmala, 104 initiatives have been identified to increase the efficiency of our 12 major ports. 50 projects have also been proposed to increase the capacity of these ports. 6 new greenfield ports have been planned, including a transshipment hub at the southern tip of India.
Well, the one
all these initiatives will double India's port capacity from the present 1.5 billion tons to 3 billion tons by 2025.
Kings of the East, yo!
To achieve the full potential of our ports, they have to be seamlessly integrated with our hinterland through roads, rails and waterways. 111 waterways have been proposed, with 4 of them being developed on priority. The longest of them will be NW1 from Varanasi to Haldia, catering to India's largest hinterland. India's first heavy-haul rail corridor will be developed from Mahanadi coalfields to Paradeep and Dhamra ports. Each heavy-haul train will have 4 times the capacity of existing freight trains. To link our industrial cluster with our ports, 10 expressway corridors will be developed. Over 80 connectivity projects have been identified with the ambition of creating 10,000 kilometers of new road and rail infrastructure. An integrated and comprehensive plan for port-led industrialization has been put in place, which combines the growth potential of industries with competitive locations. 14 coastal economic zones have been identified to develop port-based industrial and manufacturing clusters. This will also strengthen and reinforce the Make in India initiative of the government. Kandla and Paradeep have also been considered for development of smart port industrial cities. Sagarmala program will promote sustainable development of coastal communities through improved infrastructure, better opportunities and services. The key focus areas in coastal communities development include skill development and livelihood generation projects. The Sagarmala program presents an attractive opportunity for investors in the infrastructure sector and in port-based industries. With world-class ports and connectivity infrastructure, there would be a significant reduction in logistics costs. The port-led industrialization through coastal economic zone is expected to add $110 billion to India's merchandise export and create 10 million jobs. The idea of port-led development will become a game changer for the Indian economy. Together, let's commit ourselves to build these gateways of growth, ushering in bountiful opportunities for today, tomorrow, and for our glorious future.
Wow, so much to say on that. First of all, thank you to my special friend for recommending this video to me. They sent an email and said, you know, I subscribed to your channel. I'm a subscriber, and I've never really asked for anything, but will you take a look at this? This video, I think, is kind of, you know, you can put it into Exhibit A, Exhibit B, whatever, as we make the case for the kings of the East, being India. The Bible talks about basically the world being divided into 10 sections in the end times, and there is the kings of the East, and a lot of American scholars believe that that's China, and I'm going to tell you why that's wrong. There's Israel, there's Gog and Magog, which is Russia and kind of a confederation of Muslim nations. There's the Antichrist, who has the kind of revived Roman Empire, and then there's something called the Young Lions, and people argue over who that is. America, Great Britain, Saudi Arabia, whatever. It's, anyways, we won't get into that. China is not the kings of the East. China lacks something that India has. First of all, you know, because people would say, "Oh, they got a you know, million-man army. Oh, it's got to be China." It's not China. The China military is dependent on moving everything by railway. Hey, guess what? Guess what happens to the Chinese army if Indian Air Force bombs the railways? It's fish in a barrel, yo. You just start shooting. You get everybody clustered in, okay? And they don't have the economic power. They're not a democracy. There's a certain, the French say, je ne sais quoi, to a democracy as it meets its economy. It explodes. China's not going to be able to keep up with India because of their communistic views, right? That's just not going to work. India, because of its democracy and the growth, is a land of opportunity. I tell you what, if I was 18 right now, I would be living in India, dude. I'd be making my life in India. This is like, you know, the explosion of wealth and opportunity, unlike mankind's ever seen. I mean, maybe since the New World, you know, when all the honkies came to America, maybe. But this is huge, dude. This is so huge. And you see these jobs and these ports and these initiatives. If you got a job at a port in Los Angeles, you would be part of a union called the Longshoremen. And they're responsible basically for unloading the ships that come in. A longshoreman makes $175 an hour. $175 an hour. That's like, a lot of money. That's like $340,000 a year. And then overtime is time and a half. So you got to work overtime, dude. You're talking about making $300 an hour. Like it's just, it's unreal. And these unions are very powerful. If they decide to shut the port down on a strike, guess what? We don't get our Chinese crap, the crap made in China. Oh well. But you're going to have similar opportunities. Now I don't know what the scale is going to be for the average Indian who takes a job doing this, because I'm sure there's a different cost of living and whatnot. But it's good jobs, and I'm for jobs. I'm for, because this is what I believe. This is what I truly believe. And just pay attention, please. America, India, Israel, South Korea, right? These 4 countries. Well, we can take South Korea out of it. These 3 countries. What does the world scream about America, India, and Israel? Oh, they're occupiers, they're terrorists, they're doing all these... No, they're democracies. They're democracies that have a lot going on. And have you noticed that the world powers do not like democracy? They want oligarchies. They want communism. They don't want this. They don't want the Indian to have a sense of security. I have some money. I can provide for my family. We can have a few nice things. Maybe we want to go on vacation. Maybe we want to go to America and see the professor. Maybe, right? They don't want that. They want an oligarchy. They want where a few have all the money, right? And this is just a very exciting time. I'm very excited for you, India. My love for you is true and genuine. A lot of times people will send me messages and say, "Oh, you're a faker. You're a faker." I'm not a faker. I believe in the kings of the East. I think what I think I'm watching when it comes to India is prophecy. And I'm like, oh, I'm one of the few that are aware that says, oh, this is prophecy. You're watching. I mean, like, what if you were like, I don't know. You knew beforehand that the internet was coming, right? And you just knew it, right? And you were like, oh, there's this thing called the internet. People are like, you're crazy. Hey, you're crazy. That's stupid. The space stuff and it's going through the air. I can't see the message. What do you mean it's mail, right? And people would get, they would just think you're crazy, but and then you start to see it. Oh, and you're like, yes, I was right. That's how I feel about India. Right, the kings of the East are coming together, dude, and this is very exciting. It's very exciting because I'm right, and I mean that may sound arrogant. I don't mean for it to sound arrogant, but I'm just very excited. I'm very excited, and we see Gog and Magog also forming, which is Russia, right? And that's not going to be good for anybody, because with the Russian Confederation of Muslim nations, they become naughty. They become naughty, and the kings of the East will move against them, is what the Bible prophecy talks about. And my money is on the kings of the East. Whatever. I don't want to turn this into a prophecy update, but this is very cool. There's just so much opportunity and freedom for India, and and this is going to be a long video, I'm guessing, because I want to tell you guys something else too. Today is Thanksgiving in America, and one of the things that Americans do when we have dinner is we're going to talk about what we're thankful for, and I want to talk to you, India, because I'm thankful for you. You have been there throughout my adult life, in various people, whether it was the Sikhs I worked with or Indians that were kind to me, and it continues present day. I'm very, very thankful for you, for your friendship. We have a whole lot going on here behind the scenes that we're trying to do to get more Indians involved. And I want to share a real story with you. okay? And this is how you've helped me, and I'm thankful for this. I travel quite a bit for my job, and I go in and I call in on customers. Some of them are existing, some of them are maybe going to be new customers. And I had a situation. People owned several stores and they sold them, and the new owners did not like what the deal was. They didn't like our contract, and they were very, I was hearing it through the grapevine that they wanted out of their contract, that they weren't going to honor it. And I said, who are these people? Do we know who they are? And one of the bosses said, their last name is Goswami. I said, Goswami? They're Indian. Yeah, I don't know, whatever. And I said, but let me go talk to him, boss. Let me go talk to him. So I went and talked to him, and the things that you've taught me, India, when I greeted them in Hindi, when I referred to them as sir and ma'am, when I treated them with kindness, I treated them with humility, I lifted them up in a position above me. I listened to what their problems were. I tried to make some kind of deals with them to help. And I was having a conversation with one of the owners, and they made a comment about something about India, and they made a comment about India. And I said, "Are you familiar? Do you watch the Bollywood films? Are you familiar with them?" Because what I find in America is that none of the Indians want to admit to it. Like, if you meet them, they're like, I don't have time for that. And they said, "Oh yes, I watch a lot of the films." And I said, "Where are you from? What part of India?" Because I was talking about Vizag, how I want to go to Vizag, and apparently that's what the foreigners call it, because they were like Vizag. And so I had to show them, and they were like, "Oh, that's the real long name that I cannot pronounce." And they said, "We're from Mumbai," and I said, "Mumbai." And so we started talking about Mumbai, and I was familiar with it from the videos, from the questions and the comments that you guys make, and and so we started talking about the films, and we started talking about Big B and Pa, and these folks just looked at each other like, "What the hell is this? This is like a white little Indian dude. What is it?" I mean, they were just like, and I'm very thankful for that, because you guys have helped me with this. And this is something that has paid off in a very real way in my life. We could have lost customers, but because you guys have kind of held my hand and taught me about India, taught me about regions, I had a long conversation explaining why Irfan Khan is a better actor than SRK. And it was a good back and forth, and it was a lot of fun, and I'm very thankful for you guys, and I wish you peace and prosperity. I wish you safety for your family, and you guys have blessed me and the Warrior Queen tremendously, and you'll never really probably know how much. And I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you so much, India. Thank you so much for my friends everywhere, whether it's Hyderabad or Mumbai or Delhi or Vizag, wherever you guys are. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You are loved. You hold a special place in our hearts. And I'll catch you guys later to the next video.